It took a year. It took a whole fucking year for this to happen. An entire year is finally come to a head. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's your boy, Chris Zito, here for you to tell you a little bit of a tale of some D&D gunslinging with a little bit of Egyptian themes while we're at it. So, let me go ahead and answer some very quick common questions. Yes, this is going to take place in the universe that happens for TFS at the table. I have been working on this universe since, oh god, I want to say since I was in high school? Like, probably when I was just about to get out and go to college. And it's been a constant work in progress. TFS was more of a test bed, and now here we are, and I feel a little confident and a little bit of chutzpah to finally tell you, hey, the universe is vast, man. It's very expansive. How the entire, like, universe works is that the gods themselves are planets. So we got plenty of places to go, lots of time periods to go to, and lots of stories to take hold and root in our hearts forever. Like a tree in an elven forest. See how I made a D&D like that? So how Tales of Rydin is going to work is as follows. I plan to do short campaigns in different realms in different times with different players after a few couple of sessions. So maybe like after 3 or so months from now, this party will move on or reach a conclusion to where it will be time to move on to a new party. Maybe like after a month break and trying to like write some new stuff up. So that's my basic rambling about this. Let me undeafen myself from the stream so our friendly neighborhood players can join in. And wouldn't you know it, they happen to be primarily my mods.
Look at your cat. Meow.
Oh, hello. You're talking to your cat and the chat just heard that. Congratulations.
No, I was telling a story, but the cat's in the bathroom.
All right.
Yeah, sure I was, but I came back.
I kept telling him we're live.
Yes, we are currently live right now. So, I'm gonna go down the list here and say, hello, Devious Shadow, one of my friends, my mod. Who are you? Where do you come from? And what do you do?
I am Devious Shadow. I sometimes do arts, but most of the time I am a retail worker doing nothing. Occasionally I post arts on my Twitter, and that's about it.
What is your Twitter so they can find you?
It is Devious_Shadow.
Excellent. Mr. Nobody, hello friend. Who are you? And who do you want with me?
What?
You heard me! That fresh tig tone shit.
Who do you want? Who do you want? Nobody.
I want someone to pay my bills.
That's great. So, who are you and where can they find you?
I am Mr. Nobody, and you can find me on the good old twitter.com/Mr_Nobody.
What do you do on that channel?
I do stuff. Occasionally art. I say random stuff, and occasionally maybe I say I'm doing something or other.
Alright, so we got 2 artists right from the get-go. Natchcat, who are you?
I'm your wife.
That's astounding. Tell me, what do you do, and where can they find you?
I stream a lot of simulation and RPG games, like especially Digimon and Final Fantasy stuff. And you can find me on twitch.tv/Natchcat.
And Engie, who do you want with me?
I do not know what I want with you.
Who are you, and where can they find you, and what do you do?
Yes, I am Engie. I am a naval officer in real life. I'm a lieutenant. I also stream on twitch.tv/Engie_GS. I stream various indie games and some shooty bang bang stuff like Hunt Showdown.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys that you've all been rused because the chat can type in !players and find out all those links.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
I know, I got you.
How devious of you.
But also, for the people who don't know, today is Inji's birthday. He's old.
Yes, I am old.
Let's all sing him a happy birthday.
Okay, hold on, I got
No,
that for you.
Right. We don't want to get VOD muted.
No, it's happening now. Now, just hold up. We'll have a happy birthday real quick.
Oh God.
All right, so here's your happy birthday song to you from me.
Oh no.
Was that fart included?
You better watch out.
No, it was not.
You better watch out.
I breathe through my nose and I had my hands around my nose, my face. It's like a fart.
He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out. He's gonna find out. He's gonna find out. He's gonna find out. He's gonna find out.
Happy birthday. That was not VOD mutable.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're sure it's not?
Well, especially since I just played the "You Better Watch Out" song.
Oh Lord.
That'll do it.
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
All right, so I believe it's about time to get started and not delay these people anymore. But before I do, there is one more thing I would like to say. It is on the stream as of right now. We are currently running on a 10-minute follower mode. You cannot speak into the chat until after 10 minutes after following, and that should also give you plenty of time to read the rules. Bits and donations. I've been seeing them. I see them. They're fucking going mental, and thank you all so much. But bits and donations will not be read until after the stream. And also, you got commands off in the corner there. If you want to join the Discord, talk about what you've seen on stream tonight, fan art, gab about it, we got channels for it. Head on over to the Discord and find out. Players will let you know who is playing, who their characters are, and where you can find them, and then the rules, because everybody knows them.
They should know them.
I mean, that sounded so menacing, but at the same time, all four of you are my chat members, or my mods.
Yes, we are members.
So,
Members
and mods.
Only club.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the music going. We will begin talking about our characters, but first, I hope you're all ready for some backstory and some exposition.
Yeah!
You had to.
Yes.
It was obligatory. It had to. You just had to.
Required.
Okay, so I'm about to get going on this. I will let you guys know. Well, you'll all find out when your characters come into play.
So when everything's on fire, then.
No. You'll find out. I mean, for fuck's sake, we talked about it a little bit before the game started.
I suppose we did.
Alright, so let's go. Let me start the music. "1654. The mainland sent the first round of settlers to create towns in a continent out in the middle of the ocean called Blisturn. Vulture was established as the first city by Cornwallis Applecrumb. 1657. Haven Heath and Chapterfold were established as cities. A report was sent back to the mainland of the progress that has been made. 1658. Fritzmoon has been established as a town. Vulture establishes the Sandwalks, an adventuring guild, and spreads their establishments to Haven Heath and Chapterfold to recruit explorers to discover local civilizations on Blisturn. 1660. Joesdale was established just outside a wide desert expanse known by the Sandwalks as Rude Country. 1661. Native minotaurs from beyond the mountain begin to migrate into the valleys. The cities welcome them and allow the native minotaurs to establish lands for themselves in exchange for information of animals, nature, resources, and any other information they wish to give to the immigrants of Blisturn. Ramhorn and Maltanock was established as a Minotaur majority town. A report was sent back to the mainland. 1662. Sandwalks discovered a lush green landscape to the north along the mountainside. This land has already been owned by a neighboring kingdom of Naga. The Naga claim themselves as the Kingdom of Syros, and refused any outsiders from the mainland or the newly established cities to enter into their lands. a report was sent back to the mainland. In response, the mainland ordered the people to respect the boundaries of the Kingdom of Syros and focus on exploration beyond the mountains to the west. 1663. The mainland sent a regiment of Warforged to assist in civil construction, protection, and exploration efforts for the Sandwalks. The first party of settlers and Sandwalks were tasked to travel through the mountains. 1665. A report was sent back to the mainland. In response, the mainland sent resource management factories called Dripfeeds to assist in maintaining stable living conditions for the populace. Dripfeed 001's construction begins in Vulture. 1666. One survivor of the party sent into the mountains returns, telling stories of the caravan's end. In their travels, they discovered a land where glass-shaped structures hover the skies over an expansive desert, a realm gate sitting in the middle of a large lake, and a dark jungle where ziggurats break through the trees. The survivor explained that one of their dead died to a fever and was buried, but returned to the camp a few nights later as an unkillable husk. In fear for his life, the survivor escaped on horseback and returned to Vulture to tell his story. A report was sent back to the mainland. 1670. Construction for Dripfeed 002 has begun in Haven Heath. 1673. As a means to find diplomacy with the Kingdom of Syros, the City of Fortune was established as a trading post between Syros and Haven Heath. Townships begin telling ghost stories of humanoid-like figures skulking around the wilderness at night. 1674. A Sandwalk captures one of the fabled creatures for study. The creature was some kind of hollow mound of skin, sinew, and sand, and teeth that attack sinew, sand, skin, and teeth that attacks anything that draws near to it. It holds regenerative properties, strong enough to take several gunshots and stand back up on its feet again. Let me restart the music, sorry. A little bit. Here we go. Necromancy, only being able to stunt the growth enough to keep the creature down for good. When pressed for questioning of the creature, the research team was told by the last survivor of the caravan that most of the creatures resemble one of the native minotaurs they had accompany the caravan just before they traveled over the mountainside. The research team categorized these creatures as undead husks and gave them the name Hides. A report was sent back to the mainland. 1676. Hides have been seen more frequently. The Sandwalks have shifted their focus to both hide protection and exploration of the Roods. 1679. The mainland has sent parts for a third Dripfeed to Blisturn, but was reported lost at sea. This is the last contact the mainland will ever receive on Blisturn. The coastal town Balamitz was founded to focus on efforts on finding the missing pieces of Dripfeed 003's components. Cornwallis Applecrumb dies protecting his son from a hide attack. 1680. A large wall magically rises out of the earth around the perimeter of the mountainsides, and the waters around the island become far too turbulent to sail out. Mouth-shaped caverns open on the outside of the walls. Hides are reported in all manners and shapes and sizes, escaping from the mouths more frequently than usual, forcing the Sandwalks to focus their attention on countermeasures from the incoming hides. 1682. All ships docked on the coastal cities have been destroyed due to the turbulent waves in the ocean. By some magical force, these waves are so violent that none can determine what the cause is or how to counteract the magic. 1693. Dripfeed 001 and 002 have been set to double their economical duties in an attempt to keep the public at ease. More volatile hides have been seen wandering outside of the wall's mouths. 1698. All roads from Joesdale to Fortune have been seized under a band of raiders calling themselves the Roods, who claim themselves to be highwaymen to rob goods from caravans. The Roods command creatures that can dig through the earth and cause massive earthquakes. No one knows how they are capable of doing this. 1702. The Sunwalks disband. 1723. Viper's Hold, the gateway to the city of Syros, opens its gate for the citizens of Fortune. This causes a mass of people from Vulture and Haven's Heath to flee to Viper's Hold for refuge, only to be robbed, taken prisoner, into slavery, or killed either by the Nagas or the Roods. 1742. Dripfeeds 001 breaks down. The city of Vulture reluctantly decides to decommission and or terminate all living Warforged to use the corpses to mend the Dripfeed. 1743. The Warforged wage a civil war with the city of Vulture for 4 years. 1747. The last remaining Warforged rebels in Vulture have been terminated. Dripfeed 001 returns to functioning status. 1750. Seeing the genocide the Dripfeed repair caused, Maltanok segregates themselves from technological use as a means to lessen the power strain of the Dripfeed. Maltanok becomes a farming city to use what little resources the scorched lands of Blisturn can provide. 1752. Maltanok is under attack by hides. Riders from Chapterfold drive off the hides and save Maltanok from utter destruction. The riders of Chapterfold band together as a patrol to keep the roads clear from hides on the southern coast of Blisturn. 1761. Maltanok begins to spread its agricultural methods and magic to other small townships and villages around the Dripfeeds, in an effort to lessen the strain on the plants. Vulture refuses to lessen its power output. Haven's Heath takes heed of Maltanok's druidic magics and slowly integrate their methods while still making use of Dripfeed 002. 1763. Chapterfold slowly grows into popularity from the road patrols of Blisturn's wilderness, the Hides, and even the Roods. The riders form a band known as the Bullet Drakes. This is because the Bullet Drakes are known for riding Drake steeds bred and raised in Chapterfold. 1778. A massive legion of Hides invade Chapterfold and overtake the city. To prevent the Hides from traveling beyond Chapterfold, but Vulture's highest wizard council agrees to cast an apocalyptic evocation spell on the town of Chapterfold. The city was washed in a dark blue flame, leaving an arcane scar in the earth, stopping all Hides from leaving, but killing anyone who was inside the city limits. 1784. The last of the Bullet Drakes retires and fades away into obscurity. 1788. Present day. Let me get back over here. Let me go ahead and get that out of here. Over the music. Actually, I should just stop the music there real quick. So now, at present day, our story begins in the city of Vulture. The city of Vulture is still having very high tensions, though some of what happened after the war with the Warforged has kind of lessened down, even though there's still a little bit of tensions between, like, just the common folk and the Warforged. Some Warforged have actually come back into the city to find work, or at least to, like, just fill out their primary functions. Most of them are now working on the Dripfeed to make sure that the genocide never happens again. The Dripfeed, by the way, is pretty much walled around by a bunch of other buildings, and is in the center of the town. So, the sewer system now also acts as a way for people to obtain their water and their food via a little, like, traveling system within the sewer system of the city, which doesn't sound all that pleasing or, you know, all that safe, but there are a few folks who run a transit system between the sewers to make sure that everything is packaged correctly. Our story now begins at the Toad in the Hole bar. It's late at night. The tavern is bustling with all sorts of people, all having drinks, all talking about their day's work, trying to just wash away the sorrows and the sores of the day that has gone by. We take ourselves over to a bar. We take ourselves over to next to the bar at a table where a band of fellows is having a friendly game of the dice game Pig. Sitting there, as of current, is a bearded dragon lizard folk, a human dressed to the nines in mechanical tools, a rather stout but holy looking minotaur, a warforged, and a tabaxi. As dice hits the table, the lizard folk kind of turns his head to the rest of the table. Hello to you all. I'm gonna be dealing this next hand. I mean, we all have our new players here, yes? As he turns and looks to the three companions now sitting at the table. The human has been sitting here for quite some time.
Well, as new as we're gonna be anyways.
Ain't gonna get much older anyway here.
I'm not particularly fond of the town, but places like this always lighten the mood.
The human takes a wrench and kind of like knocks on the warforge's shoulder. Now that I can understand, son.
Watch where you're putting that thing.
Oh, please, son. It's not like you could just... He looks over at you. What kind of model are you, son?
To be quite honest, I kind of forget. They prattled off some numbers. I know I'm a sleeker model, made for scouting missions.
Might want to be hiding that serial number of yours away from the townsfolk in case they start thinking you might be one of them rebels. But, you know, rebels ain't been here for, I don't know, maybe a couple of years now?
Oh, I'm sure.
The lizard folk kind of like bobs his head like, come on, I want to play, as he puts down 10 gold. 10's the entry pot, boys.
Alright, give me a hot second.
Alright.
Watch throws 10 on the table.
Kopesh also throws down his 10. Deal me in.
I'm just a simple cleric, but alright, deal me in as well.
Oh, holy mad gambling. Now that's some fun times right there.
She don't care much about gambling one way or the other.
I assume you all know how to play the game Pig.
Oh, I mean, I know how to hunt said game, but never played.
Oh, well, it's fairly simple. I mean, you all seem like outsiders. I ain't never seen you folks here before. So, let me at least explain to you what's gonna happen here. He holds up a d6 to each of you. Every one of you gets at least one d6 on the table. Now, see, the point of the game is to at least get 7 or more points on one turn. You keep rolling the dice until you get a minimum of 7 points. If you roll a 1, you don't lose points and we move on to the next person. The first person to get to 50 wins the pot.
Sounds simple enough.
Sounds like my kind of game.
Well, alright then, let's all roll for initiative then. As he turns and looks to the camera with his sideways eyes on both parts of his head.
Wait, what?
Don't you worry about it. Alright. The lizard folk rolls... He roll... Oh, wait. Initiative, right. 20. Sorry. So everyone roll initiative.
4.
Wait, where indeed? Where is that initiative?
Right above your HP.
It's a... if you go to the little sidebar where there's a dice, you just roll a 1d20.
Oh, dude.
Alright, fair. Alright, so... Lizard Boy rolled himself a 14. Let's see. Human fella rolled himself an 8. And let's see. Oh, NG and nobody rolled the 20 at the same time. Who has the higher dex?
Nobody does.
Yeah, I do.
Alright, so Watchful will be going first. Followed by Ted. All these names are above ground, by the way. You guys don't know who the fuck you are just yet. And I'm gonna say Devious gets the 8 since he's higher than the other guy. I'm gonna assume his speed is way higher.
I mean, it's a 17, so I would assume so.
Alright. Alright, so Watchful, you get to go first.
All
So
right,
while everyone's kind of like looking over at you while they're waiting for you to roll your d6. So who are you, friend? I ain't never seen you in these parts before.
I'm just a simple guy for the various trails out this way. You know, picking up a little bit of information on the side. You know how it goes.
Information? About what? What are you hunting?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun to know?
He kind of like squints as he looks at you. Again, you get to roll until you at least get 7 points. So right now you currently are at 3.
Alright.
Get to roll another 6.
And
Hey!
6 it be.
Oh, you get 6. So you get 9. So that ends your turn, because you got above 7. Now it's Ted's turn. Oh, by the way, I should probably do this while we're doing it as well. I should, show to players who is who and what's going on, so...
If I roll a 1, that ends my turn, doesn't it?
If you roll a 1, that ends your turn. Well, before we get to that, like, that's going a little too fast. I wanted to show off the,
sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to show off the chat who's who. Also the... I apologize if there's common mistakes happening here, chat.
It's the first session. It's okay.
Indeed, but, you know.
It ain't no thing to
People
worry about.
expect. People expect! Alright, so... This, currently, is who just got the 9 on the first roll.
Meow.
Alright, and now everyone turns to look over at the cow man, the giant minotaur. So who are you, friend?
I'm just a simple cleric. I came in. Y'all got a bit of a plague problem, you see, and they needed me to help fix it. People's feet and all were falling off.
The human kind of like tips his hat and looks over to you as he's using his wrench to kind of like just motion the hat up. I ain't sick.
You're welcome.
Aw, you telling me that some minotaur just came in here, mooed at me, and all of a sudden I got over my common cold? Could you do something about my aches and pains from working over at the Dripfeed?
I fix the sick. I don't fix the whining.
What do they call you, priest?
Ted.
My name's Rip, so what do I know? And my name's Pogo. So,
Well, pleasure to meet you.
alright, so your first roll starts off pretty low, but you're still in the game. Until after Pogo looks at you and looks at your dice. Ooh, looks like fate's not on your side, friend.
It's fine. I don't need fate. I just get things done anyway.
Okay, now it's my turn. He's gonna roll a 6. Not off to a good start, but he still gets to get another roll. That's 5. 7. Flat 7 for Pogo.
Good old Pogo, just bouncing around on them dice, aren't you?
Well, you know, I am quite a nice hunter-trapper. I know when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em. Oh wait, we're playing dice.
I'm starting to like you a little bit, Pogo.
Laws of fortune favor the bold and don't hold for no one.
So everyone now turns as the dice are passed on over to the Warforged.
Rattles them around as they clank off of his metal hand.
Yeah, don't you go cheating on us now.
6.
That's a 9 for you.
A little bit over. But nothing gained, nothing lost.
Well, no, that's the point.
Nothing
You're
lost, nothing gained.
You're supposed to get that. Right now, you're currently tied with Watchful. And finally, everyone turns over to the human. Well, we ain't heard your name yet, son. That was aimed at you, Kopesh.
Oh.
Guys, this is me trying to introduce your characters. Come on. Come on.
Well, you see, looking at him, and who are you looking at? Your eyes are going sideways here.
That was the human talking to you. Rip, who is rolling the dice right now, got himself an 8.
Oh, the company likes to call me by a number and a letter, but I prefer to go by Kopesh. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Sounds like something sounds like something the Naga use up in the north. You ain't ever been up there in that country? Watchful, it's your turn.
So it is.
I recall being up there a while ago. That was some old time ago.
Oh, I never got so much as far as Fortune. I heard there's ghosts running the place now, especially with all them Rudes flying about and going in there and just wrecking up the place whenever they feel like it.
Well, I ain't seen that just yet, but I'll tell you what, don't let them snake folk get you.
What? You just watch his Pogo, like, his eyes, like, dilate and he looks over at you with side profile face. Why not?
Oh, trust me, friend, you don't want to know.
Watch kind of, like, rubs his neck, like, yeah, it's best not to ask.
You ever seen a fella tied to the back of a horse, and then they tie his limbs to the other backs of other horses?
I mean, I've done that before, Rip says.
Well, imagine that, except it's snake people, and they just haul you off from your campfire.
Oh, jeez. Well, so much for me going up my way to Fortune. I was gonna use whatever I win in this pot, or at least for my plays, to go up there and find some more work.
Oh, no, Fortune's fine, minus I guess the root attacks. But any further north than that, you're starting to get a little dicey there.
Oh. Nobody, you still got, you got another roll, you only rolled a 5.
Right.
It's the 7.
Yeah, 7 minimum.
There we go.
Alright.
And now that's 16.
You know what, friend? Since the pot's so low, you see watches now as Pogo is kind of just like looking back and forth, just like rubbing his arm and like getting all flustered and everything. It's like, friends, actually, maybe it might be best if we kind of put this to 25 instead of 50.
Aren't you just itchy to get yourself a little more gold?
You know, who doesn't like gold? Especially not me, the gold boy. I mean, look at me. Most of my scales are the same color as that, even though it's kind of mustardy bronze. Ted, your turn.
Yes.
Well, just
Let's
because
see.
something's shining like it doesn't mean it's the genuine article.
Oh, dice are doing a little better now.
As Kopesh kind of flicks around his fingers that are actually gold.
So that's gotta be a fun story. What is that about?
Oh, this is just how it's built. And he lifts the brim of his hat, and there's turquoise inlays along his forehead.
Now, is that genuine, or is that just some kind of fancy paint you decided to put upon yourself?
Oh, no, it's all genuine.
Pogo gets a 9.
Aren't you afraid of bandits coming and, well, stripping you for parts?
Well, see, thing is there, friend, when you're like me, you don't need to sleep. And when you always got one eye open, it's awfully hard for people to sneak up on you.
Kopesh, your go.
Oh my, it seems the fates of dice are starting to warm up to you folk.
Oh, Lady Luck and me have a long history.
Oh, do tell, do tell.
Whoa! Rip gets a 12.
Son
Looks like your luck's running out, Pogo. Looks like I'm walking away with all them shiny little golds of yours. Pogo's kind of just like sweating now, just looking left and right and rubbing his arm even faster.
Oh, now, friend. You never count your fish. Count your chickens. Why'd I say fish? Count your chickens before they hatch.
Alright, Watchful, you're back up the list.
Well, good old 06 don't fail me now.
Hey.
And
Oh.
Oh!
as I say that,
Whoops.
old Snake Eye looks back at me.
Now, Seafriend, you jinxed yourself.
That's what happens when you were talking about them Nagas up to the north. Ugh.
I didn't say anything.
Ooh.
Ooh. Hey, 11.
Doing okay. I'm
Good.
rather okay with these dice now, I think.
You're catching up. So far, the current points are Watchful is at 16, Ted is at 19, Pogo's at 16, Kopesh is 17, and Rip is 20. Next up is Pogo. Pogo now looks like he looks down at the dice, and he kind of like rubs his clawed little finger into like the one, and like twirls it around his little paw-like hand, throws it up, and then throws it hard against the table.
You're rolling a little weird there, boy.
Oh, just for good luck, I suppose. And look at that, I got me some good points. Actually, no, that means I win. He actually made it to 26. He wins.
Damn it. I suppose you did.
All right, you guys lose 10 gold.
That was an interesting first time around.
Rip kind of looks over at Pogo with very squinted eyes. Let me see that dice of yours that you just rolled.
Yeah, Kopesh is doing the same.
Well, what do you mean? All I did was just roll it really, really super hard.
In a rather flashy and needlessly hard, might I point out, fashion.
That was a little odd.
Well, what do you mean, odd friends? It's nothing. I promise you. It's all fine. He just like he looks over. He's like, look, I guess I could just, I don't know, maybe like give you all 1 coin for the sake of good luck. As Rip holds up a pistol.
Oh, there ain't no need to get firearms involved, friend.
Watch is just gonna sit back and watch the show.
I don't want to have to patch you idiots up.
Let me see that dice, friend. Pogo kind of like hands over the dice to him. And Rip starts inspecting it. There is a stone in the middle of the center of the one in the dice.
Now, friend, that's no good.
Well, I mean, he like Pogo is now desperately like looking left and right, just desperately trying to like look at his hand, and then he shows them to you. Like he goes ahead and like throws his hand right in front of Ted's face, and like kind of like smushes his claw into your nose. Look, friend, look, my hands are all dirty from working outside. That's all it was. It was just dirt in the claws.
Get your claws out of my nose right now before I tell you what the meaning of the word sunburn is.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry. Here you go. I mean, I'm like, you see, right, friend? He looks like maybe the robot will be able to tell, right? Right? He holds his hand up to Kopesh.
Son, all I'm seeing right now is you stammering and panicking, which really doesn't help your case against cheating.
I mean, you could also roll to see if he's telling the truth.
Yeah, it'd be perception.
No, it'd be investigation at this point.
Oh.
22.
I'll give it a go with 2, just in case. Oh.
No, it checks out. The boy's hands are dirty, and he has nothing but rocks in the middle of his paws. In his claws, I apologize.
Now, that being said, you really should wash your hands before you start gambling.
Well, wash with what, friend? The Dripfeeds aren't open right now.
I don't know, just wipe them on your clothes, spit on them.
Oh, sure, let me just show you that. Let me show you how dignified that is, as he takes his giant tongue and just, like, licks his entire hand. It looks like gum just overtakes his entire forearm as he licks up and shows you his hand.
Yeah,
saliva now.
It on your shirt.
As he spits up with dirt.
Kopesh just extends a hand over to Rip and just kind of pushes the pistol back down.
Ted just has his face in his hands right now. It's like, this is why we have these plague outbreaks. This is, oh Lord.
Watch just kind of looks at everything. He's like, you know, if I would have known we were getting a show, I'd have bought a drink.
Oh wait, we're not. Okay, hold on. Something's wrong. We're not seeing people's dice rolls.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh Lord. Oh, that's why. Huh. There we go.
And so all is right in the world again.
That still don't help the fact that this snake tried to walk away with my money. Says Rip.
Well,
Rip is getting very, very agitated. He doesn't look like he's very satisfied with the fact that even if it was a mistake, that's still his money. So that pistol is coming back up again. It's not being fired. It's not being menacing. And also, Rip kind of like looks over to Pogo and like nods his head to be like, don't make this a scene. I'll fire if you make this a scene.
Kopes just kind of throws an arm around his shoulder and goes, nah, friend. While I personally also, looking at Pogo, don't agree with lowering the score some just because the first round was low. Nothing harm, like, no one did no one harm. How about I go buy you a drink at the bar?
Persuasion.
Not very convincing. That's an 8.
Oh, geez. Alright, let me roll for Rip. Well, can you believe in miracles? Because the guy only rolled a fucking 3.
Hoppa.
You know, I've been working so damn long at these Dripfeeds. I can't believe they're still standing, and the fact that, no offense, he looks over to Kopes. No offense about this, son. But if we had more juice like we did a couple of years ago, we'd still be we'd still be operational at double capacity. He will get up and ask. He will get up and show you to the bar so you can get a drink.
Kopes just kind of looks like, shouldn't have said that, but I'm not gonna make a scene. Speaking of juice, let's go get some.
Alright. You stand up and head on over to the bar. You sit down at one of the only empty spaces. There is a man in a very nice black and red coat, with a very stylish hat and a very large handlebar mustache sitting at the bar at the table next to you. He is sitting there taking a nice swig of beer as he looks over to you. Kind of like looks you up and down. Just shrugs. Huh, well, I'll be.
Kopes chips his head. Just, howdy.
I want that one, like a fucking child. Rips looks over and he looks at the most expensive whiskey on the table.
Kopes just kind of raises a hand and flags down the barkeep. Just...
Oh, that one? Oh, okay.
Yep.
You want some Chimera whiskey, then? That'll be about 25 gold. A shot.
Alright. He just turns to Rip. Well, son, you're getting one. And he puts down the gold on the table.
That's fine by me, friend. He takes up the drink. Oh, you ain't got something for me to cheer with.
Kopes just kind of fakes holding a glass and just kind of dinks one of his fingers.
Roll a perception check. 5? You try to look around and you try to find an empty bottle and you just pick up a peanut from the bar cup.
He tried.
But the situation's not as cracked up as he wanted it to be.
Unlike that peanut that he cracks as Rip kind of like slams the glass into the peanut and knocks it flying. He takes a swig down of it. You watch as his entire face turns red. I need to roll a con save for him.
Good luck, buddy.
No, not at all. Not fucking at all. Rip is on the floor, like, throwing up.
Rip.
He did not take that sitting very well.
Hey, Ted, was it? What do you think's in that stuff? It knocked our vocal friend over.
You know, I don't rightly know, but what I do know is it's funny to watch after he threatened somebody with a gun.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Kopish is helping him back up off the floor.
That fellow who's sitting at the table kind of just like doesn't say anything, but he doesn't like look to you, but he does perk up at that enough that you guys can all hear him at the same time. How much did that drink set you back?
25 gold, I believe.
He puts down 50 on the bar. Buy yourself something nice.
Oh. Well, thank you kindly, stranger. What was your name?
You hold on, I'm gonna grab him up because at this point, the gentleman now turns and looks at you with the biggest smile on his face. Whoop, sorry, clicking on the wrong stuff. Here we go. Let's open up them archives and kaboom. Name's Buck Kettle.
Good old Buck.
Kopesh extends a hand shake. Well, it's very nice to meet you.
He takes your hand and he shakes it firmly, and you actually watch as he slips something into. Wait, who did he shake? I apologize.
Kopesh.
Yep, he took a shake. He took a shake of Kopex's hand, and then you feel like a little bit of a clank as something kind of like falls into like the metal pieces of your arm, and he dropped you a gold coin.
Oh.
Roll a insight check to see if that was intentional.
7.
Man, this poor guy, he's being generous. He's fumbling money all over the damn place.
Kopesh just kind of like stops shaking his hand, just kind of jangles his arm like a jar, trying to get it out, just until it plops out into his hand. He goes, "Well, friend, I appreciate it, though I will admit I don't have a coin slot."
Watchful and Ted, roll me a investigation check.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Nice. A 16 for NG and a 14 for nobody. That is not a gold chip, by the way. That is a platinum chip from Fortune. Roll a history check, all of you.
Okay.
Come on.
10.
We are not good at history.
I don't know what it is, but it is so shiny.
That's pretty.
Oh, that's just a playing chip. Kind of stole it off someone who thought it was nice to steal from some folk on the road. Got a little bit of a nice treat out of it, and I got me a nice little gig sitting here in this town. Now tell me, you boys seem...
Yes.
He just looks over at you all and like rubs his chin as he's like lighting his cigar. Interesting. Y'all in the mood for looking for work?
What kind of work are we talking about here?
Talking top brass that gets you all the access to the drip feed you want.
Sounds alright. What else you got that comes with this job?
Well, I need to see that you're wanting to take this job all the way before I can take you. Sorry, big man's orders upstairs.
That's fair, that's fair.
All I want to know is, do I get to kill people that need killing, or do I get to save people that need saving? That's all I care about.
Ooh, holy man's done a righteous quest, I see.
It's just my job.
Now tell me, son, what is your job?
I'm
by
the
the-
cleric of Salima. That is all I do.
I see. So looks like the Minotaurs are out there praising the sun because it's all baked into their skulls. He kind of like nudges you in the shoulder with a little smirk.
Yeah, you could say. We could say we got a little bit sunburned. That's true.
I mean, have you seen this gentleman? He's a lovely golden brown.
Yeah, it kind of comes with the territory when you walk out in the sun a lot. Also, a prize horse needs to have a lot of maintenance.
That's to be expected when you have a horse like that.
Well, boys, why don't y'all introduce yourself, tell me what you're special at. Maybe I can make this work and we can go meet the big man upstairs.
All right, my dear friend Ted, was it?
Yes.
How about you go first, since you seem more on board than I do at the moment.
Well, I was just here saving some people from that plague that starting to make the rounds here, and well, we stopped it pretty soon. Other than that, I killed me some bandits, fought in a couple of little battles here and there, but
Buck smirks as he picks up his beer and he looks to you. Now, son, I know a little bit about you, cause we got word that you were coming down this way.
Ain't that good. I ain't good. I ain't much for talking. Most hospitals don't like me. I don't have much of a bedside manner. I don't like whining. I just like to fix people and move along.
What about you, son? He looks over at Kopesh. The fact that we got a Warforged walking around without a proper serial number, people might start asking questions and poking and prodding.
Well, my prime directive isn't like the others of my kin, where they may provide maintenance or construction. Mine is a little more tactical. I guess what you could say is my prime directive is to hop the fence, as it were, and see if the grass is greener on the other side.
Now, I only got one question for you, son. Where were you manufactured?
That is on his character sheet, and... Well, you see, I was built on-site at Dripfeed number 2. I was built specifically with said purpose in mind. Hence my, and he gestures to himself, more aerodynamic frame.
Oh, well, that makes sense, considering that the Dripfeed is kind of halfway underwater so much at the city. I've heard the stories. I've heard the horror stories. Ooh, the horror stories. And how about you, Kitty? What are you in for?
I'm just a humble guide, making sure people don't die out on them roads.
He grabs you by the shoulder and grips it tightly and looks at you very sternly.
Yes?
How... Now, what do you mean by guide? Do you want to roll an insight to see what he's up about?
Absolutely. And... Alright, 16.
He's pretty much asking you if you're rude.
Now, let's calm down. I don't work with those unsightly folk that decide to rob folk left and right. I just make sure people get somewhere safe. That's all.
His face returns to that happy little smile of his and he takes a sip of his drink. By the way, you guys all at least got one shot of Chimera whiskey at this point.
That is mighty kind of this fellow.
Kopesh just kind of shrugs at it.
Kopesh, you shrug at it?
Yeah.
Right, where are my manners? He, snaps his fingers, and the bartender walks over and takes a shot of oil to it.
I was just gonna say, Kopesh just pours it into his mouth, and it just falls out of the side of his face.
Alright, the rest of you, roll con.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, ignore that. It clicked the wrong thing.
Con save, not constitution.
Hey, I ain't dead.
Is that you gotta roll a con save.
Where are you?
There you go. like that. Oh, no!
Well...
Oh, boy.
I think it's time for a nap.
You guys watch as visible steam comes out of Ted's, nostrils, but he takes it down like a champion. Meanwhile, the cat's hair stands on end and he falls over like a feather duster.
Hello, my name is Mud.
You cannot feel your throat right now. It is hard to breathe.
Well, that's smooth.
Oh, Catlog got stuck again?
Oh, chat. Chat.
No, it's fine.
Well, Ted looks down at Watchful. You know, sometimes I think cats ought to stick to milk and not fall on the ground so much.
It's comfortable down here. You gotta try it.
I've slept on the...
all that hygienic.
Buck kind of just, like, smiles and, like, slaps his knee with a little bit of a laughter and, like, pulls you up. Now, son, I've slept on the floor outside, but old Buck Kettle will never find himself sleeping on the floor inside. That's just undignified.
What's dignity nowadays?
Fair, son, fair. But, like I said, I do gotta upkeep my horse.
True enough.
Alright, well, looks like I found me and my boys ready to do this mission. So, buy yourselves whatever drinks else you want, figure out what you want to do for food, because after that, you won't be eating any of the common stuff. You'll be having stuff straight from the Dripfeed afterwards if you get this job right.
Go on.
And 2,000 bucks to spend as well.
Ooh.
That is much more enticing.
Oh, my whiskers and call me Grandpa. That is quite the hefty sum you are offering.
Well, it ain't me. That's the big man upstairs. We'll be meeting him soon. Good old Apple Crumb himself.
Apple Crumb.
You want to roll a history check?
Absolutely. Where are you? There you are. And 12.
12? Yep, Mayor Applecrumb. The Applecrumbs have been taking hold of Vulture for so many years. The only name that you can get out of him is that it's the great-great-grandson of the first establishing Applecrumb, Roger Applecrumb. With that, you guys are welcome to... You finish up your drinks, and you will follow Buck outside, where he has a wagon at the ready for you all to take a travel up. So he walks over to the front. You guys don't see the front of the wagon just yet. He, like, kind of motions for you all to get inside. As he goes around the corner, he goes, "Ah, there's my boy," as he pats down what you assume is the creature carrying the cart. Though you're hearing a very visceral humming, like, hiss instead of, like, a whinny or a neigh.
Watch leans out of the cart to have a look at what this thing is.
This is what you see. Oh, wrong thing again. Goddamn, Chris. Wake up.
Oh. Why, hello there, friend. Aren't you just the most adorable-looking son of a gun out here?
This, by the way, this face that it's giving you, it's stuck in that mode forever. It just looks at you with the biggest smug look on its face.
I love it already.
Long as you don't rob me, I'm fine.
Ah, don't worry. As long as you don't get on the receiving end of his breath, old Horse here is quite the gentle soul.
Horse.
Yes, his name is Horse.
Co-
Oh, by the
Copas
way,
starts
Horse
laughing.
has wings. This is a dragon.
Copas
All
starts
right.
laughing and he goes, "Well, I was about to say that's probably the oddest looking horse I done see this side of this side of the wall."
I'll let you know something. I might be rich, but I might be, He, like, snaps his fingers. Uncreative.
You know what? That's just a good mentality of the element of surprise, so... Horse it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with a simple.
Do any of you speak Draconic?
No. Oh wait, yes I do. I actually do.
I do not.
The dragon like, not roars, but he, like, kind of, like, hisses at you guys, enough that, like, you feel, like, this really stanky, like, really acidic, stanky burn in your nose as it speaks. You look on the inside of its mouth, it's green, glowing green, like radioactive green.
Nightlight.
You hear, whoever was the one who's able to speak Draconic, you hear him kind of, like, mutter at him, "Ah, you're the fresh meat."
Oh good. sense of humor on him. That's all right. This job's just getting more and more interesting as we go.
All right, with that, let me go ahead and stop this song. You guys are escorted up the town square, going up the main street. There's a small hillside that takes you up towards the Dripfeeds main command center. This is where most of the rich folk live up here.
All right.
Keep Buck and Horse there since they are kind of here.
Getting into the fancy town, I see.
Ain't nothing for the best for those who want to work for Mr. Applecrumb. And,
I suppose not.
you might also want to make sure you're not to say anything rude about anything arcane. I'm not much of in the ways of magic and whatnot, but I heard that, the Meltez Wizard Council might actually have a representative here.
Oh.
Anyone want to roll a history check on that?
I will roll a history check.
Same.
Always a good thing.
Oh,
16.
not 20.
That's a funny name.
4.
God damn it.
What's a wizard?
Alright, Ted, you instantly just remember that name, because you've heard nothing but just mixed feelings when it comes to the Meltez Wizard Council. These are the people who actually nuked Old Chapterfold.
Ah.
And you know that their leader who actually initiated that is a man by the name of Lane Dreet.
What was that you cut out for me?
Lane
Cut out for a second.
Lane Dreet, Landreet, is the main leader of the Council of Meltez Wizard Counseling.
Long Dorito.
God damn it.
But is it ranch or nacho?
We'll just have to find out.
Flaming hot.
Mm.
Before we get there, Ted's like, just so I'm aware, aren't those the people that took out Chapterfold when those hides attacked? I think that is.
Yep.
Ain't them?
Buck doesn't answer you for a good couple of seconds, but then flips and turns to you. What? Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. What'd you ask?
I gotcha. I understand. Good thing about being a Minotaur is sometimes I don't expect you to talk too much. I think I'll take advantage of that.
I'm gonna roll something for Buck when you say that. He kind of like rolls that off his shoulder and shrugs and then looks forward. You guys are finally taken up to the main office. It's a giant... It looks like pretty much a... You're now at the main export center of the Dripfeed. The Dripfeed, by the way, is a giant tower that looks like it's made of steam... Like, just steampunk machinery, and on the inside of it is this weird, like, light blue paste that comes out of what almost looks like a giant hourglass. You guys know that water and food is actually made from this essence and this resource. What it's made of, though, that's something you guys don't know, and unless you want to roll a history check with disadvantage. Or a nature check with disadvantage, based on whatever you choose.
I'll roll history.
I'll roll history.
10.
I may as well. 11.
Oh, it's a 10 with disadvantage.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, you guys don't rightly care. You're just here to take this job, whereas Ted, you're just kind of worried, like, why does this have anything to do with the Minotaurs or the people who sent you down here in the first place?
I mean, what question? If food's
Right.
good, looks good, tastes good, I don't care what it's made of.
That is a scary, albeit a very smart way to look at it, says Buck.
Man, gotta eat. And you eat what's available, right?
Well, I mean, you.
I've had my fair share of scorpion out in the road, yes. Ain't that
Same
right,
with that.
Horse? Horse kind of just like barks at him, like with a loud hiss, and he goes, "That's my favorite."
Need to remember that. I'll have to ask you guys how to cook those things better.
you guys are taken to the main building that's attached to the drip feed. You guys watch as like most of like rich folk are kind of just like lined up at the very last minute. It's like close to 9 o'clock at night right now, so people are getting their last little bit of rations when it comes to food and water, and they're walking out with like shopping bags of like different kinds of food and whatnot. And on it, it says on their bags that it all says the Meltez Wizard Co.
Think we're getting close?
Yeah, you are. You're taken inside. You're in a very fancy manner. There's a couple of Buck kind of like pats Horse on the head and like tells him just to sit there and wait. Horse kind of just like sits on his hind legs and just like watches and then falls like face first over his forearms like a dog.
You are a very interesting creature.
He doesn't respond to that. He kind of just like lulls himself off to the side and like just looks away so he can get a little bit of a nap. Buck takes you inside. You are brought before Mayor Applecrumb, a very large, portly man in a black outfit and red shirt. Black tuxedo, red shirt, very, very poignant top hat. Buck, is this the folks you told me you'd find? Yes, sir, Mr. Applecrumb. These are the... I was about to say fools, but the folks who are looking to make a little bit of extra coin, and also the Minotaur. Ah, excellent, excellent. Come on in. Have a seat. He leans over to you guys to like sit down in these huge cushioned seats.
How cushy are these seats?
You want to roll a con check for that?
Yes, I kind of do.
Do they come with an ottoman?
Yes.
Oh, 19.
They absolutely do.
Oh, Watch just starts to purr like these are the most comfortable seats I have ever been in.
You sink in it. Like the only thing that's sticking out of the cushion at this point is like a little bit of your paws, your hat, the tip of your hat, and your nose.
I'm not moving.
Not getting out of this chair.
No, sir. Not getting out of this chair.
Kopesh goes over, sits down, and just kicks his feet up.
You hear the springs on the inside of the cushion.
Then Ted will sit down and almost break the chair.
Roll an athletics check.
Oh, Lord. Oh, actually.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
No, you put one hoof up and you break the ottoman, but the chair's still standing.
Oh.
Yeah, I said he's fine.
Sorry about that, ottoman.
No, son. Hold on a moment. It'll be fine. He looks over to another person who was standing there the entire time, kind of like sitting in a very elongated tuxedo. It has like coattails leaning on it. He has a very stern and pointy face. His eyes are closed, and he has a slicked back blonde hair, kind of like braided almost in a way into a ponytail at the behind him. He kind of like gingerly wisps his hand up, and you watch as your foot is magically pulled up, not like uncomfortably so, but enough that like you feel your leg move up telekinetically, and the chair returns to its original shape, and your hoof is put down on it naturally.
Well, that's very handy. Well, thank you.
Like the guy doesn't even like, he like looks at you, like kind of like opens one eye, but then just like returns back to his like very rich and pampered posture. Ah, well, I see now that my good friend here, Mr. Dreet, representative of the Melted's Wizard Council, is here. About time we get down to business. So, gentlemen, I have one very important question for all of y'all.
In this chair, I will listen to anything you have to say.
Any of y'all killed a hide before?
Would I have?
I'm gonna say you guys know what hides are, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to say none of you have ever faced combat with a hide, because you all know that that's a suicidal idea.
Well, if I have, I don't remember. but I haven't, and I'm still here, so unfortunately, no, I have not killed one of your living sandbags.
I have fixed some people that have met a hive, but I haven't faced one directly.
You, son, will be the most valuable asset to this little group of adventurers, then. I'm willing to offer you 2,000 gold to run a little bit of an investigation on my behalf. See, we got a little bit of a problem, and you pass it on the way down here, son. He looks over to you, Ted.
I did.
Yes.
What did I pass by?
On the way down here, you pass by a little bit of a mountainside close to the Sunwall called Beacon's Crawl.
I did. That is accurate.
Excellent. Well, you see, I'm going to have to ask you to head on back that way, along with the rest of you and your little party. We've been having some disturbing readings coming over from Beacon's Crawl. Not sure if it has anything to do with hides, but we also don't want to guess that the hides are pouring out of the mouth close over to the crawl. But my good friend here, Mr. Dreet, he looks over to Dreet. Dreet turns and looks at you all and kind of like holds his hand up and shows a projection of what looks like a painting of the Beacon's Crawl. And you watch as like a little dark cloud starts to form over Beacon's Crawl. And Ted, you don't even fucking need to realize. Like, you could just feel the necromancy ooze out of that black cloud. It's just this feeling of necrosis and your blood standing still for a hot second.
Oh.
Good. Unfortunately, Watchful's kind of sunken into the chair that he's not noticing this.
Nope.
And Kopesh, you don't have blood, so this doesn't feel like anything.
No, son. That's a pretty disturbing thing you're showing me there.
Indeed.
I'll take the job.
Right off the back, then, I suppose that you being of the Oath of Selima and all, trying to protect others from all things undead. But I will warn you, Mr. What was your name again?
Theodore Evans.
Mr. Evans, I will tell you that while there is some necrosis going on here, there's also been words and whispers of a certain cult that have been hiding themselves up in Beacon's Crawl. We don't know much about them, but we do know that they are oozing out an unsettling amount of conjuration magic. They appear to be trying to snap something out of the ether. We don't know what, and we also don't like the idea of necrotic or magical oddities just beckoning their way through the beckoning their way into Blisturn to cause mayhem, or dare I say, even to summon forth any of the hordes of the hides coming in from the mouth.
That sounds bad.
Your task is as follows. You will go into Beacon's Crawl. You will find and detain any of the cultists who are setting off this necrotic magic. I would like it if you didn't kill them and brought them in alive, or at least their leader, or someone who seems to have the more authority on this whole conjuration. We'd like to bring them in for questioning.
All right.
Okay.
Is this something you could do? And he looks over at all of you, and not kill as much as you possibly can. We're not paying you to murder. We're paying you there to inspect and to detain.
Kopes just shrugs his shoulders. Can't really get information we need if they's dead.
And that would be a loss of information, and I am very much opposed to such. So, and watches kind of thrusts her arm out of the cushions, just gives a thumbs up.
Apple Crumb kind of like throws his arms up wide and slaps with a clap. All right, it's a deal then. I'd like all y'all to come on up here and sign a little bit of a contract, and if you come back with what we ask for, then, well, this town will owe you a great favor. Enough so that you'll get yourself a little bit of money, and also get yourself all the fixins to the drip feed you most desire.
One more thing, if I may ask.
Well, Applecrumb is kind of just like smiling happily at this. Dreet is looking over at you a little pensive that you have to question the entire thing.
Now, nothing serious. Just, if you can, any information on Dripfeed 03.
Ooh. Applecrumb kind of like looks lost and looks left and right. Son, I was of the opinion that you knew that that's been lost in the sea for years ago.
Lost, perhaps, but information is information, and you being the wealthy man that you are, I'm sure you have a little information regarding to this facility.
Yo, okay, roll a persuasion check.
Ah, crap. Please. No! 2.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Ripperoni.
He kind of Applecrumb like laughs it off like you're asking to find the leprechaun and the gold and the pot of gold in the scenario. Ah, son, it's a fool's errand. Ain't no one know where Dripfeed 003 is. Dreet just kind of just like shrugs, rolls his eyes, and like looks away. You all have your mission. Come sign the paperwork, and we will be on our way.
Okay, but one more favor.
Watches Dreet turns his head and looks at you. I wish I could. I wish he was more like Dutch, so I could just go now, son.
No, nothing major. Just and Watch waves his arm in the air. Can you help me out of this chair?
Kopesh gets up and wraps a hand around one of his paws and just yanks him up.
Athletics
Ted's
check.
also gonna help.
Oh, athletics check with advantage. Both of you.
18.
And a 23 for me.
You just hear like a slurp as he gets pulled out of the cushion.
Oh god!
It's like slurp and then
He just kind of like shifts around and feels everything crack. Like, oh god, everything feels so good.
all right.
He feels like
So
he's melting.
Dreet comes to you all with the contract stating that what your mission is and what your prize is should you come back. You get 24-hour access to Dripfeed 001, and you all get 2,000 gold to be split apart in the way you see fit.
All right.
Do you sign?
I sign. I'm in.
Ted signs. Doesn't really have any objections.
Kopesh takes the pen or quill, whichever it is, puts it to the paper, and you hear like a tap, 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 as his hand just slides to the right, and there in perfect font 12 size 12 font Times New Roman is just his name.
I was kind of hoping you would say it was Comic Sans, and then when he moves his arm, it actually makes like the typewriter ding.
He's a dot matrix printer.
If anything with the setting, it would be papyrus.
Fair. All right, boys, then it's a deal. Now, go ahead and get yourself prepared, get whatever provisions you need, head on out. I'd like you all to at least get this underway at the start of dawn. And, Mr. Kettle will be out there helping you out to at least escort you over there, but I don't expect the lad to get his hands dirty unless you want to pay him extra.
No, I think we'll be fine.
All right. So, with that, we can take like a quick 5-minute break, and I swear, Casey, you're actually coming in next. I swear. I absolutely swear you are going to show up.
Patient.
You are going to show up, I promise you.
She just
Oh, that's
emerges from the
episode.
ground upwards, surrounded by fire, and says, I am here.
All right, so we're gonna go BRB. I'll put on some music, and then we'll continue. Thank you all so
Yay.
much for dealing with my shenanigans and my nonsense, and dealing with like 4 fucking screens at the same time, trying to make sure everything works.
I mean,
We
we knew
will-
you were a good juggler.
Fun.
I'm not a good multitasker. Don't fucking say that. We'll be right back. All right.
Cleaning out the pipes.
Hello, friends. I am back.
The timing.
Cleaning out the pipes. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
No context quotes.
Excellent.
And
We're not
that's
gonna
that off the
explain.
checklist.
We're not explaining that at all.
No, I don't want you to. All right. So you guys ready to head back in?
Indeed.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. Take a sip of tea and we'll be good to go.
Tea.
Well, Angie was giving us some tea, so.
Oh yes.
All right. So at this point, you guys have went back to your respective lodgings. You all met. Buck has instructed you to meet back up in the morning at the Toad in the Hole. In which case, you do so. Him and Horse are sitting there waiting for you guys to get ready to get going. You all pretty much have provisions, yes, unless there's something all you need to shop for.
Do any of us have a spyglass?
Buck kind of
Great.
just like looks left and right and just shrugs.
Okay. Well, and I guess we need to buy one. What's that? I think everything else we're good on.
If you're gonna buy a spyglass, I'm gonna say it's like $5.
Done.
5
Cool.
gold.
5 gold. You can now see 120 through the spyglass.
Non-combat or
Nice.
Well, combat and non-combat.
okay.
If you use the spyglass for perception checks, you could see 120 without having to take disadvantage. And with that, let me go ahead and get the music going, and we will begin our little ways of travel.
Yay.
Yay.
On the road again.
Oh, I should also do something real quick. I should
Oh.
also
As long as you guys don't start singing Country Roads.
take me home
Ooh, damn it.
to the
I hit it.
place where I belong.
West Virginia.
There we go. Now that you guys have Hort and Buck ready to go.
I mean, clearly Hort's the most important one out of all of us. Buck's just there.
Buck's just there. Horse is really what's up. You all know what's up,
Buck's just the supervisor.
right? Alright, it is now currently 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun is slowly beginning to rise. As per Mr. Applecrumb's request, you all set out in the middle of the morning. Buck goes ahead and takes on top of the saddle of Horse, and you all begin to drive off into the desert. NG, this is quite easy for you. You recognize this road. You literally just came through here the day beforehand. You actually are very well versed in knowing where exactly you're going, so you guys are pretty much just taking onto the basic road. You're probably not going to get there at least until, like, the end of the day. But if you stay on the road for this long and not deviate, you should be able to make it to your destination before the sun begins to set.
All right. Seems like a nice, easy, quiet, peaceful ride where nothing bad could possibly ever happen.
Nope. Don't say it. You're gonna jinx it.
Ted just punches some wood repeatedly. Dadgummit. Don't tempt fate like that.
There's a crow sitting on the end of the caravan looking at you.
How you doing up there, Crow? Cool.
He has a ring on his leg.
Do I notice this? Well, of course I would. You just said it.
He has like a metal branding on his leg. You don't know what it is, but clearly something's up with this crow if it has a metal brand around its leg.
Can I take a look at the crow and see if there's anything up with it, like anything different about it?
That'd be a perception check.
I'm gonna roll one as well. Just check the surroundings, just in case. All right, 19.
19?
Yep. 13 for me.
Alright, to you, Ted, it's just a crow. Kopesh and Watchful, though this is not the normal coloration of a crow, it actually has a little bit of a blue streak going down its wing. Almost like, looks like this is not a bird that is well versed in being in the desert. You mostly see like vultures or very large predatory birds. Maybe even like the stray Archaeopteryx every once in a great while. This looks like this came from a civilization or just a rare, like, breed of someone's pet.
Kopesh kind of just reaches a hand up, trying to, like, very slowly trying to see if the crow will hop onto his finger so he can get a closer look.
Animal handling.
Nope. That's a 6.
You swipe at the bird, and it sees your claws retract, and it just, like, hops to the side, and puffs up and screams at you.
You know what? Let me give it a shot, then. Same deal, right?
Yep.
Come on. 19. Come here, buddy. Let me have a look at you.
Funny enough, looking over at the tabaxi, it's kind of a little wary and gives off like this weird clicking noise, almost like it mimics the sound of wheels. No, not the wheels, I apologize. Almost the sounds of like horse feet clopping. And then it jumps on your hand and looks up at you.
Oh. Not quite from around out in this area, are you? And judging by that little sound you made, probably from a city. How'd you get out here, little one?
It keeps making more clopping noises. Like it's mimicking the sound of a horse clopping.
That's a little concerning. Hey, let's see. Kopesh.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, go topside and take a look around. And he hands him the spyglass.
Alright. Kopesh takes the spyglass, kind of opens the...
Roll an acrobatics to get up on top of the wagon.
I was gonna say, just opens the door of the wagon and just climbs on up. 21.
Hey.
With cat-like grace.
That's my stick.
You kind of just like... You shimmy yourself up on top, and you pull out your spyglass, and... Right now, it just looks like you're on the middle of the road. You can look ahead of you and you look back at you. You can see a little bit of the Dripfeed disappearing into the distance. You know that the next town in the direction you're heading towards Maltanok, which is to the north. And that's the Minotaur, that's one of the Minotaur cities. You actually can see, like, you don't even need a spyglass to see this. You can see Beacon's Crawl just ahead of you, but it's gonna take a real long time at horse's speed to get up there.
I just imagine it doing like the like bearded dragon waddle down the desert.
That's pretty much what it's doing.
Oh lord.
with the arms swimming and everything.
Skittering.
Yeah, that also kind of does raise a question. Roll an intelligence check.
Just general intelligence?
Yep.
9.
You boys are
4.
dumb.
The smart cow is the smartest.
The cow rubs his chin and then just realizes something. Wait a minute. Horse has wings.
Just now noticed.
We're not the most observant party.
Nope.
Yeah, like, wouldn't this just be easier if you flew?
Yeah. Hey, why don't we fly? Why don't we do that? Like, the horse has wings, don't it?
Buck turns and looks at you. Man, you ain't the first person to ask me that question. Buck here only can seat one person every time he flies, and right now he's currently got something attached to him, and 3 other pieces of baggage on top of him.
That's fair.
That, and also this. He's more of a frontline fella if things go south. He, kind of pats down on, Horse's side, and he's wearing a really thick, he's wearing a really thick jerkin that covers most of his body.
Huh. Well, okay then. I think that's fine with me.
Alright, so what do you want to do now that you're up there, on top of the, wagon?
I guess just kind of check the surroundings more towards where the cavern would be to see if there's any signs of a wreckage or a previous camp that this crow might have come from.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception. 13.
A 13? You're only just seeing a bunch of cacti out in the middle of the woods, some dry earth, and tumbleweeds flying by. The more you head towards Beacon's Crawl, more natural earth, rocky formations come up out of the earth. The road's off on the side. Off the side of the road, the earth looks like it's very damaged and looks like it's been split apart, maybe because of, the bleaching sun or, just the sheer heat just cracks the earth itself. So, being out here in the middle of the desert, at least to the west of you, heading towards the Sunwall, is a very, very dumb idea to just travel out in the middle of the wilderness without a plan. You do know that off to the east, however, is more civilization. So, heading that way, or looking off in that distance, there might be some hunting parties, or there might be people out in the middle of the desert, just going off on the road or heading back to town, but so far there doesn't seem to be anyone out in the middle of the road. It's just you guys right now.
Signals back down to the guys in the carriage. Doesn't seem to look like it came from up north or out west. Probably came from over the east.
Well, generally when things come from the west, it's not the best thing in the world, so I'm okay with things not coming from there.
The crow once again makes clopping noises.
What are you trying to tell us, little buddy? The watch is kind of gently scratches the top of his head.
It pecks at your finger.
All right. No touching.
It looks like after you trying to touch it, it then hops off your hand to the back of the wagon and then flies off. It's flying to the north.
All right. Guess you were northbound after all. Still, how did it make it so far out here and not, die?
Especially as you say that, you look out off to the side of the road, there's a rabbit, and then a coyote just jumps out of nowhere and rips it apart. And then a scorpion rips that coyote apart.
Jesus. Forget how big those things are.
Yeah, you see a Doberman-sized scorpion kind of just lurch out with its tail, grab the coyote, and drag it underground.
If Kopesh had facial expressions, he would look horrified.
Ted's just gonna have a spear at the ready. Nope, don't trust him.
Watch kind of leans out the window hey Buck, I wanted to ask you.
What's that?
You said you ate those things out there, the scorpions, right?
Not me. Well, that's more his shtick. He kind of pats down on Horse's head. Horse is looking over towards where the scorpion was, and his maw is open, and acidic, ooze is forming out of his mouth and hitting the floor with a sizzle.
Watch kind of just watches the trail hit the dirt and sizzles you know what? Never mind.
Nah, boy. He, kind of pats Horse on the head. We got a job to do first. You hear, a grumbling. Couple hours pass by. You guys have been on the road. It's now closer to, like, 11 o'clock in the morning, almost midday. The sun is now peak in the sky. I need everyone to roll me a con save.
It's hot.
Oh, right toasty out here.
15.
19. I am good.
11? But do I actually need to roll one?
Yeah, you do.
You give C's up.
Just because you're a robot doesn't mean you're, like, you know,
Immune to
immune to the
oil's
elements.
drying up.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Wow, Angie, you're really lucky on that fucking negative, on that 3, the natural 1 on the tail end.
I saw.
Yeah, everyone's kind of, like, taking it in stride. Everyone's using shade properly. Kopesh, on the other hand, is still kind of, like, going in and out of the wagon to see if he can find anything with his spyglass. And doing so, unfortunately, is just, the sun is glaring down on him so much that his joints begin to seize a little bit. You feel super exhausted right now, to the point where you have to stay inside the wagon. I need everyone else who isn't Kopesh to roll a perception check.
Righto.
Am I glowing?
21.
17.
Ooman, what do your moo ears hear? They hear the clopping of hooves off in the distance, over to the west.
Oh, y'all hear that? Horses to the west? Yep. I poke my head out.
Poke your head out.
See if I can see something.
That would be another perception check.
As he does that, he's gonna ask for the spyglass as well. Can I borrow that spyglass for a second?
By all means, I ain't seen nothing with it. He hands it over.
Kind of needed it.
You look into the spyglass. An overwhelming darkness eclipses over the spyglass to the point where it dreads you, and then all of a sudden a bright orange appears, almost like the sun just popped into your eye. You pull down the spyglass. You're looking directly at Horse, who's looking back at you.
What the? I'm not very good with this spyglass. I'm sorry.
Give it here.
Well, there you go. Maybe one of y'all will take a look.
My turn. Second perception.
Oh, second? Wait, no, hold on. Oh, well, fuck, I'll let you have that.
24. What doth my golden eyes say?
Okay, well, now I need you to roll me a history with advantage.
Oh,
Give me sight beyond sight.
18. I will
18. You see a couple of people on horseback out in the distance running towards something. Or there's maybe about 6 or 7 of them. They look like they're forming a circular formation, almost like they're playing with something that they're chasing. You can see a little bit of what the riders are wearing, and one of them is wearing metal shoulder pads that looks like metal just hunked on top of other metal. These are Rudes.
Ah, crap.
Rude, they don't see you, but the Rudes are chasing after something out in the desert.
Can I try and see what it is they're chasing?
That would be another perception check.
Oh, please. Nope. 9.
For the 22, you have advantage.
Oh, that's right. Well, what are they after?
They are chasing after an elvish woman and what looks like a sheep.
Huh. Hey, fellas, I don't know if you've heard of the story of Little Bo Peep and her sheep, but, got kind of something like that out there right now.
What the hell are you talking about?
Buck looks to the side, and he looks at the he looks to you. You didn't say Rudes, yeah? You just said that there's something out there.
Yep, didn't say Rudes right out.
Yep.
Now,
Well,
is that
well,
the
there's-
one about... Sorry, go ahead.
Buck looks over to you guys and just goes, "Well, no reason for us to stay off the road unless it's coming straight for us. It's probably just a bunch of folks hunting."
Curious thing, they're wearing metal pads on their shoulders. Circle formation. Not sure why.
Just watches his mustache goes from like happy and bushy to like all the way droops down, almost like a Disney cartoon. And his face turns very sour and stern. Ooh, excuse me. Now,
what do we want to do?
Well, while it is my job to make sure that you all get to your destination safely, I won't ignore the fact that a bunch of Rudes off on the distance, so close to us, is not the safest option. I can take us over there, at least to observe before we do anything stupid.
I'm good with that.
You kind of like... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No?
Hey, Ted looks at Watchful. Do you want to ask why? What a cleric of Selima is going to do? Of course. There's somebody that needs saving. Well, my choice is rather clear.
Kopes just kind of puts a hand on the front of his hat and tilts it down over his eyes and just goes, well, if there ain't trouble on the way up, there most likely be trouble on the way back.
With that, Buck pats Horse on the head, and Horse kind of just, like, bites down on the reins that he's holding, and you guys head off trail. Everyone roll a acrobatics check, as this gets bumpy as shit.
13.
21.
And 16.
Oh yeah, it's bumpy. Horse is pulling the cart over some broken crags in the middle of the floor. You guys are running over a lot of like cobbled up rocks. But so far, like, you guys are able to hold on to the cart very, like, enough that maybe Ted's not having a good time because of his mass, but he's able to hold his hand up on top of the wagon that he's able to keep steady.
Usually the bull isn't very good at the rodeo.
I mean, you're not grabbing your horns.
You're right.
All right. Map change.
Hey.
You guys follow after the Rudes for quite some time. Let me go ahead and get proper music. God, I hate allergies. They suck.
Here.
Sounds like you need another gallon of the stuff to get rid of it.
Yep. Okay, so a bunch of fellas on horseback are now circling around what looks like an Eldrin woman, and her very, very tiny black and white sheep. One of the Rudes on horseback, a white with red blotches over his face, almost like war paint, tabaxi, on horseback, gets off his horse and kind of like spins his shotgun in his hand while looking over at the two. I'm gonna have you guys stay out of combat or interaction for just a quick hot second at this point.
All right.
Let me go ahead and show pictures of who we have going up right now.
It's a boy.
Good boy.
And go players.
I like her design.
Oh, she is pretty.
This girl looks like she's not really well equipped against like a bunch of dudes with a bunch of shotguns and pistols on horseback. She is right now carrying a pretty much a club, like a little like walking stick. She's kind of like hovering over the sheep, which at this point is you, Natch. As the cat, now like still flipping his shotgun, kind of like just keeps walking around you guys. Now, when I asked you to stop the first time, I really would have thought it would have been clear that you should have like just listened to us and not run away. Because now we have to make this a little bit harder than it needs to be. All I was asking for was some compensation to pass through the road. That's all it is. The rest of our family's quite large, and the rest of us kind of need some honest work doing our taxation job. And, I don't know, ma'am. How much do you think the goat is worth for all this trouble? Ruin, what are you doing about this? The girl who you have just met in the middle of the like, you, at this point, I'm gonna explain what you pretty much have been doing all this time.
Okay.
You remember last night waking up in the middle of the desert? And not much of anything else has happened. It almost felt like you tripped, fell over, and you landed face first in the middle of the desert at night. An overwhelming chill over your body, even though you're wearing a giant jacket. And then the sun kind of like gleaming in over the daylight. A woman kind of like approached you who is covered in nothing but green. Her body like gives off the sweet smell of plum every time she nears you. She's wearing a very colorful poncho, and she has very deep purple eyes. She had met you on the road, like, thinking you were indeed a sheep yourself. But then, upon closer inspection, she realized that you were an actual person. But before she could ask you about anything, she kind of, like, took you by the hand and ran you... Tried to get you and herself onto the road as quickly as possible, because a bunch of dudes on horseback were following you, and this is where this has led you to. Now, with a bunch of guys with these very... not antiquated, but very, very low-tech guns to what you're used to, now threatening you, while this woman is kind of just, like, hovering over you very protectively. She's not giving them the time of day, she's just staring back at them.
Well, first of all, he's gonna look around and see if there's any way to get out of this first.
Alright.
So he's just gonna take a good look around and see how bad his eyes are.
Roll a perception check.
He can't see shit. He's got too much fluff in his face right now.
God, the sun's just so damn bright. Like, even worse than from where you came from.
I mean, he's not really used to this area. He's from a place that's more rainy and dreary. Kind of up in the mountains, not out in the desert.
And rainy and dreary is not something that this place looks like it has. Especially when the earth itself, like, even in your own, like, hoofed feet, you can feel the sun, or just, like, the heat radiating to any part that's flesh and not hoof.
Well, he doesn't see anything useful, so he's gonna give this guy a good hard stare, waiting for this girl to pick up.
I have no money. I walked out into the desert on my own accord with no money. The only thing I have is this stick on my person. When she says that, the raider just picks up the stick out of her hand and starts dancing around her like a jerk off, just a huge jerk, like just mocking her. He can tell straightforward that she has something to do with like druids, because well, you don't know this, but in this location, and based on the race she's very in touch with nature, considering that she's an Eldrin, that flowers are growing out of her hair. The rest of the people on horseback are all laughing and jeering. Like, these people are just acting childish, just toying with you. They're not even here to, like, rob you of anything very important. They just want to be jerks for the sake of being jerks. And then the Tabaxi then turns and looks over to you, and then starts poking and prodding you with the stick.
Oh, no.
He takes the flat end of her stick and, like, bonks you on the head. He still, like, has not paid attention to you enough to notice that you are not actually a sheep.
Oh yeah, he's kind of hunched over, isn't he?
Yep.
Well, this kid's still looking around, but he's gonna stand up and push his cloak back a little bit. He's got his...
Oh, didn't like that, did it? He whacks you over the side of the head with the stick now. What is your AC?
His AC is 12. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, that hits. Rolled a 19.
Yeah,
He takes the stick, but when you, like, kind of, like, rear away, he takes the stick and bonks you on the head to get you to pay attention again. Or just to be like, ha, stupid idiot, fucking goat. Oh my god, ow. For 8 points of damage, he whaps you on the head.
Oh. Let's see
Clunk.
how much to take away from that.
Also, hold on, I think chat is telling me your volume needs to go up. I could fix that. That's just quiet. Well, I just upped her volume to 140, so that should help.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
Can you hear her now, chat?
Yeah, this kid didn't like this very much, so he's got his hand on his dagger this time, and he's hurting a little bit, but he's backing up.
The Eldrin woman kind of like grabs the staff away from the guy, but now it becomes a tug of war sort of scenario. I really don't want to hurt you, sir. This is just childish. You're childish. He takes the staff and knocks her in the gut with it and knocks her over prone. You guys in the back now walk in on this. They don't see you just yet, but you guys climb out of the wagon and they're too busy dealing with their captives to notice you just yet.
All right, fellas, what do we got to work with?
Kopesh flashes or kind of brushes his poncho out of the way and unholsters his gun and just kind of spins the barrel on it and goes, well, I see with my eyes 6 targets, and I happen to have 6 rounds in the chamber.
Ted?
Well, I've only got 3 points, but I got a bunch of, I got the beauty of Salima to show to these people. Yeah, they might burn alive, but I think that'll improve their demeanor a little bit.
Amen to that.
Buck is gonna roll something real quick. I don't think they need killing, just a bit of a lesson to be learned. They just look like a bunch of kids with nothing to prove.
All right. I got an idea then. Minotaurs can be a little bit scary. How about I give one of these kids the horn, see if they don't run off like the children they are.
After you, sir. So what will you do? As of right now, it's a surprise round.
It's a surprise round? Ted's going to try for a dash and use 1 second. And use a goring rush.
Goring rush. Immediately after you use a dash attack on your turn and move at least 20 feet, you can make a melee attack with your horns as a bonus action. So who is your target while I get fight music going?
I'm gonna go for that gentleman right there that I'm the closest one to us.
All right, let me go ahead and write these boys' info down real quick. Okay, go ahead and do so.
All right. Charge. Oh. 1 second. I don't think I have control of my character.
Don't
yeah.
you?
Yeah, we can't move our stuff.
Oh, that's bad. All right, one moment. I got you. I got you.
I would like to move, sir.
Please, sir, may I have some movement?
Movement?
Move, mate!
Please, sir, just a little more.
Alright, you should now at this point. I'm giving everyone their movement.
Now I can
Yes.
see my thing.
That's not the way I want to go.
Ted climbs on top of the wagon.
He's so mad he just tips the fucking wagon over. Just, oh my god! He's amped for this.
Apparently,
Uses it
I
as
have,
a springboard.
All right,
apparently I have
charges
control
in.
of watch.
Charges in,
Just
and
double
I'm
click
going
on
to
your
use the
icon.
horns.
Roll the hit.
Okay.
15.
15 to hit, eh? Alright, so let me explain this then. Everyone's kind of poking and prodding at the elf woman and what appears to be the sheep. Until finally everyone just hears like a resounding neighing as Ted's horns bum rush through the horse's legs and he flips the thing over. knocking the horse on top of the guy.
You just lost some honor.
Alright, so...
Joke's on you, I have no honor.
Roll athletics check for me real quick. Because that does hit the horse.
Okay. 22.
Oh.
Let me roll something for the hort. Yeah, no. You flip the hort right over on top of the dude who is now crushed underneath his horse.
Oh, okay.
Click on the horns words so you can see what damage you dealt.
Right. 8.
8 points of damage as you flip the entire horse over.
Oh.
I need to say this thing is prone. One moment. Yeah, I'm getting bad allergies. I'm sorry.
Since all eyes are now on Ted, he will shout. So, y'all are making trouble for these people. How can this cleric of Salima fix things? Do y'all want to run or do y'all want to die?
Is that intimidation?
Yes, it is. 14.
Alright, roll in for these boys. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, one person succeeded.
Only one person was.
Only one person succeeded. Everyone else sees the giant minotaur now glistening into the fucking sun as it almost looks like the god rays itself are pouring into this man. Everyone except for the one guy in front of the elf and the sheep are frozen in fear for one turn.
Ooh.
Alright then.
I'm happy with this.
Alright, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Alright.
Including me?
Yes.
14.
Oh.
17.
Oh, horse, buddy, you rolled a
19.
nat 1.
No, not the good boy.
Horse.
He found a tiny scorpion to munch on.
Alright, so Natch goes first. Nobody. Then NG. Then Devious. And poor horse goes last. Dead last. Alright, Buck rolled a 10. And finally, Elf Girl. Ooh! She's up there.
Hey. Nature's mad.
Alright, so now I need to figure out... This is the first time I've ever done this on this program. Now I need to figure out initiative. I need...
An initiative tracker.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but I don't fucking know where it is.
Oh.
I've never used this thing for that. I usually just did it on paper. To which point I think I might just do that. Yeah, that seems easier.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
And all the boys, since they're stunned, they're all going dead last anyway, since they lost a round. Alright, Natch, you're up first.
Okay, this little guy is gonna do his best. He's gonna reach for this elf lady and try to grab her hand. So...
Oh, I see it now. Hold on. I actually see the initiative list.
There you go.
You'll have to add in all of the enemies
All the individual
manually.
characters. I'll wait.
Sorry.
It's okay.
All good.
Oh boy. Here we go. Chris learning how to do things. How do I fucking... Are you kidding me, game? Oh, it won't let me add you to the initiative list. That's bad. Learning! Yeah, clock on the left. I'll send you initiative button for the NPCs later. Oh, okay, whatever.
I think you guys gotta double-click each of your tokens and pretty much claim them.
Yeah, put it in.
Yeah, put your name in.
I think that's the only reason it has mine on there, since I clicked beforehand.
Yep.
Oh, wait, duh. Fucking duh. Okay. What did I just click on? This is Buck. This is... Technology, the bane of human existence. Yeah, I don't want this to fucking ruin everything. I feel like a jerk.
That's fine. I'm having fun.
And so paper triumphs again.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that paper's probably the better turn. Oh! Fucking add turn. A doy. A fucking doy. There it is. There's the good boy.
He's just always smiling.
He's just always happy. Look at him go.
Here comes a special boy.
We need his slippers for that. So every step is, here comes a special boy.
Okay, so now let me go ahead and refix how this is supposed to go. So, Natch is first. Nobody goes next, so Watchful is next. Can you get rid of the picture of the camera? Yeah, sure. I can't believe I just did that this whole time. I'm a jackass. I'm a fucking jackass, oh boy. Okay. Sorry guys, learning. First time I ever used this program in this capacity.
We haven't moved very much, so it's okay.
It was a surprise round anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is that boy a crocodile skink? I don't know, maybe. He's a dragon. He's a good boy.
We just know he makes us happy.
All dragons are good boys.
Okay. Everyone gets one turn before I have to put these boys in. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Alright, as I was saying, this little guy's gonna be reaching for the elf girl. He doesn't necessarily have to grab her, he just has to be touching her. So, what do I roll for that?
What are you doing?
He's gonna use Thunderstep.
Oh man. So, click on the spell.
Yeah, let me show you what this spell does.
You teleport yourself to an empty space you can see. Each creature within 10 feet of the space you left makes a con save, taking 3d10 damage on a failure or half damage. Thunder booms to about 300 feet away. You can bring along an object that doesn't exceed your carrying capacity and any willing creature. I need to roll for the elf girl to see if she's willing.
Yeah.
Oh god, she's willing. Okay, she just passed that score. She just passed that score.
Okay.
She wants nothing to do with B, where she is now.
Okay, so he's gonna try to use this Thunderstep and jump over to the cow, or at least as close as he can to the cow. Rolling that. Yeah, I think he makes that.
That's a nat 20!
Should I do the damage for the boys?
Spell critical.
I need to roll a con save for them.
Did I click this?
I clicked it. So it's 17 plus 8. Oh my god.
Did he just knock them down?
Well, I gotta roll. What's your spell save?
Mine?
Yeah.
Let's see, spell save. That be on the spell itself?
No, on your character sheet. You have to scroll down to where it says you're in your magic list.
Okay,
Your spell save DC.
Yeah, should be right at the top of the page.
Oh, it's 14.
Oh,
Duh,
so
it's right there.
I'm fine then, I guess.
Alright, well, boy number 1 fails. And this is within 10 feet, so that means that...
Anybody closest.
Anyone close, so that means...
So just that one guy.
It's just
was
that one
picked on.
guy. So yeah, so the person who was picked on is taking the full brunt of that damage.
Well, bye.
Yeah, so move the tokens to where you're moving.
Let's see.
While this
10
boy
is-
takes...
How
God.
do you use the ruler thing?
Just click on it and then drag.
There's a little ruler and then snap to center and then you click and then drag.
All right. Center. Yeah, he's gonna be jumping like right over here, I guess.
Okay, so that means you're here.
Yep.
You
And-
take her with you.
Yep.
Meanwhile, this poor boy...
I think he's probably on the floor now.
taking 25 points of damage as as the goat disappears in a flash of lightning, and all of a sudden you guys just hear
basically got lightning striked.
there's now a poofed up cat standing where ash is blowing away.
Watch just kind of
Well-
leans over to Kopesh like, yeah, that was kind of flashy. I like it.
All right, nobody, you're up.
All right. Well, seeing as our friendly sheep and her shepherd have moved, then I shall drop something right in here. Little something called spike growth. And
Spike growth.
Yes. Let me see, where are you? Let me turn this on. Let me pop that again really quick so we can read it. There we go. The ground in a 20-foot radius becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. Any creature that can't see the area at the time of casting must make a perception check against your spell save DC to recognize it as hazardous.
All right, so click in the middle, like use the ruler to click at the middle where you want the starting point to be.
2 seconds, right here.
And then, all right, so draw out to 20. Okay, so start there, and then start making a box to 20, like all around.
Let's see now. Let's see, 20 here.
Excellent.
There.
So that guy's caught in that, so that's difficult terrain right there. When a creature moves into or within the area, they take 2d4 piercing damage. So you guys watch as a fucking, like, bountiful, like, just rain of thorns, like, erupts out of the earth and kind of wraps around the broken terrain and all around the horse's foot at this guy as the horse whinnies and neighs in pain.
He'll be fine.
Oh, that means Rune fried that one dude's horse too.
Yep.
They're fine.
So he got off the horse, remember?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
On.
So now it is the elf girl's turn. Well, since you got her back up, and she doesn't have to spend a turn to move to do that, she now looks at the one guy who gave her so much fucking grief. Though unfortunately a lot of her abilities that she has require her to actually be up in the front line. So instead, she'll just like walk over this way. She'll stand next to this fella who's in front of NG.
He got horse gored.
Yes,
Yes.
is. Yes.
Hello,
Yeah.
cat.
Horse
He's
gored.
fine.
Yeah, he's fine. But instead, she then looks at the guy who's laying on the floor on top of her his horse. I mean, under his horse. She places her hand on top of the horse, and you guys hear like this sickening, almost bone-crunching sound as her hand starts to turn red, and the horse's body starts to dry up and shrivel.
Oh,
Yeah, Rune's just sitting here like, sure, I'm glad you didn't do that to me.
I am going to see... She is casting... She is casting Vampiric Touch on the horse.
Oh,
Huh.
Okay.
As she looks down at the guy, who's now looking up at her terrified, She doesn't smile. She just looks like she's giving, like, this blank fucking vacant stare. He put you so... As she mutters at him. And... This guy... Let's see. Vampiric touch. Yeah, that hits. That fucking hits the horse. The horse gets drained for 3d6 necrotic.
God.
3d6 necrotic. That's 2, 6, 5. That's 11, 12, 13. 13 points of necrotic damage, and she gains back half of that in HP, bringing herself back up to full. The horse is now a shriveled husk on top of the guy.
Mr. Ed, no.
Anyone want some horse jerky? Fresh?
Let me double check and see something real quick for her. Yeah, no, that's it for her. Next. That would be, Mr. Nobody. Or, no, I'm sorry, that'd be Devious.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright. Kopes is just gonna take aim, and he's gonna take a shot at this boy right here.
How much, feet distance do you have?
Be 45.
45? And how much does... So, by the way, you should describe, what do you pull out your pistol, like, what range do you have on this thing?
It would be the range equivalent to a hand crossbow.
Excellent.
Which I believe was 120?
That's max, though, yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna take a pot shot at that boy right there. That would be an 18.
Are you aiming for the horse, or are you aiming for the guy?
I'm aiming for the rider.
Aiming for the rider, very well. Yeah, that hits.
Cool. As this is still our surprise round, so would I do my sneak attack damage on it?
Yes, it's not looking at you, so yes.
Okay.
They are too busy on the fact that the plum tree girl just fucking ate a horse's blood.
Alrighty, so there's the damage for the pistol, which would be 8 piercing, and an additional 9 from the sneak attack.
Nice. 17 points of damage. You graze the guy's arm, and you hear him let out a egregious scream as the bullet whizzes through his shoulder.
Ew.
I mean, little Timmy always wanted a body piercing.
Alright, NG, you get another round.
Alright.
This guy is pinned underneath the horse right now. He's fucking terrified. He's petrified, this poor lad.
Ted is going to... He has a spear out. He's going to point the spear directly at this kid's neck.
Oh.
Looks up at everybody. Either throw down your weapons, or I'll kill you. It's as simple as that. Now, what are you going to do?
Intimidation?
Another intimidation. Yeah.
Oh.
No!
I think this kid's already intimidated.
Man, fuck you!
You know what?
My dad.
Kill him, he's new! We don't give a shit!
So, a radius of 20 feet. That would be like that square, right?
Yes.
Okay. How do I make another square? 'Cause I want to throw...
Make, like, use your, use your,
Oh.
yeah, use your snap to center and show it to me, I'll make it.
Oh, like this? I just want to... 5 by 5. Okay. I just want to target that area.
Okay.
And he's like, Ted's just like, alright. Gave y'all a choice, and y'all didn't take it, so...
Oh.
A fireball? Holy shit! Wow!
Keeping these for questioning.
There's someone that was still alive.
We have the one under the horse, it's fine.
Crispy but alive.
They're fine.
Yeah, one fails. What about the other guy? Yeah, he fails.
So they both take 32
Well, hold
fire
on.
damage.
You hit 3 of them.
Oh.
One succeeds. But now, yeah, so go ahead and roll the damage. I'll apply the half damage to the other guy.
Yeah, it already rolled the damage. 32 fire.
32 fire? Oh my god.
Yes.
They're very toasty.
They take half damage on a save.
No, you watch as the center of the fireball hits the one tabaxi and turns him into complete ash.
Oh, that guy got zapped and fried.
Yeah, so... Oh, fuck. Wrong thing. Dead.
Smell of burnt fur everywhere.
So, you guys watch as the ball explodes, splashing fire all across the sands. And the dust that picks up carries the ash and the fire with it, that it just sinks into the other guys' skin as they fall off their horses as the horses turn into crisp ash.
Oh.
Their horses are dead. They're on the floor, knocked prone, not looking too good. Like, their entire bodies are engulfed in flame.
Woof.
After this is done, to just... Alright, I'll ask the question again. Who wants to throw down their weapons now?
Hold on,
At any time, just throw them down and you'll be fine.
Where's my, prone thing? Here it is, right here. You guys are prone, this guy's prone. Okay. Now it's Buck's turn.
Just watching all this, like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, Buck just, like, watches this, and he had his fucking shotgun at the ready. But he just looks to the whole entire party and then smirks and, like, takes a puff of his cigarette and just leans on top of Horse, folding his arms. Passing his turn. Horse sees this. And then, like, you watch as his mouth opens as he's looking at, like, some of the crisped horse to eat. So at this point, I had to roll initiative for these guys, but I'm gonna roll something else for them. 14. So your intimidation was that. You ask again. So, Buck instead will actually just roll, will actually look out to the guys and just go, "My hands are tied, sirs. You best do what the good Moo Man says. Or else, we got some extra backup right here," as he points down to Horse, pats him on the head, and Horse, like, bites at the air at these guys, and rolls for an intimidation. Oh, dude, hell yeah. Let's see. Buck got an 18 on intimidation.
Oh, okay.
Rolled a nat 1. Okay, for one guy, so... This dude is gonna spend his...
Out.
No, this dude's gonna spend his turn to get up and get the fuck out of there. As he's patting himself down on fire. This guy, however, rolled a nat 20, but he's not gonna die for this. So he runs out of combat. Let's see about boy number 3. Boy number 3 fails and books it.
But don't forget the...
Yeah.
D4.
Yep, he's on his... So, roll your damage, and his horse takes the damage, though, so... So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces that he ran away.
6. Sorry, Horse.
Yeah, the horse's, like, legs begin to bleed as the tendrils of thorns, like, snap at his legs. The horse is bleeding out, and you watch the blood trail run away with the guy into the desert. Guy number 4, let's see what he's about. He's out. He rolls in that terrain, too. Get him, roll it for me. He's actually stuck there.
Uh-oh.
Because it's difficult terrain for him.
Yep, 5.
5 damage. Alright, he takes 5 damage and he's stuck in difficult terrain right now. And then you got boy underneath the horse. Fails by 1.
Oops.
He's crying now. He's desperately trying to shrug his dead horse off him just to get out of there, but he can't. They're using their turns to run away. However, this guy on his horse looks back and takes a pot shot at the elf with his gun. 12, 13, 14. She, unfortunately, by 1 point, she takes the bullet to the leg. Like, you watch as she winces and, like, pulls her leg back and she hits the floor. But she gets back up again. She takes 8 points of damage to the leg. Oh. This guy continues to run away. Roll that damage again as he runs off.
All right. He is adamant. Another 6.
His horse falls flat on the floor, bucking and neighing as it, like, convulses on the floor, trying to get back up again, but its legs are too much in pain. And this guy just abandons his horse and runs away. You are left... Well, combat is pretty much over. You are left with this one guy underneath the horse.
Alright, so how do we want to handle this, folks?
Ted just looks down at him. Are you done fighting, son? Because if you give up... Well,
I already gave up! What else can I do? Everyone left me... He's dead, like... Right, John is dead. What do you want from me? We were just playing around, man.
We just want us some information. I'll tell you what, to make things a little better for you. Here. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
The elf girl kind of like looks down as you do that. She kind of like bites her lip, looks away. She like kind of like rubs her leg, but then spits in this guy's face. Oh.
No. Man, Ted's gonna look over to her. Man, would you like some healing as well? I'm giving it out right now.
If and you wouldn't mind, sir.
Well, okay then.
Nice. You don't heal her up to full, but you get her back up again. Alright, well, now you guys, like, pretty much surround this guy who's underneath the horse. He gave up. He puts his hands up. He's fucking done.
Kopesh just kind of walks over and he just kind of squats down over the dude's head and just kind of looking at him. Now, son, why did you think going out into the desert and bothering some nice folk like these people over here was a good idea?
Because fuck you, I need to get some money!
Well, if you wanted money, you could just get a job.
Don't you know what a highwayman is? This is my job!
Son, being a highwayman ain't no job. That's a choice you make. And when you make it, you make the wrong one.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a good choice! Fuck that green bitch!
Kopesh kind of just chuckles and pulls his pistol and presses it just above the kid's eye socket. Now, son, calling people names ain't very nice. And if you best go on playing in the desert and making people your toys like you've been doing with these folk, sometimes those toys like to fight back. And he gets down right in his face to the point where all he sees is just the glowing yellow eyes in his eye sockets. So play nice.
You want to roll intimidation?
Sure. 19.
Nice.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure he's pissed and shit himself. Buck just kind of like giggles at all of this, takes a drag from his cigarette, or from his cigar, takes the butt of his shotgun and whams it on top of this kid's head. Yeah, with a nat 20, he clocks him out. And then there's horse like looking over him, just like, eh. And fucking Buck just like pushes his head away, like, no, don't eat him.
Kopesh just stands back up and holsters his pistol.
I want to check on that other horse. It's currently collapsed on the other side of the thorns there.
Yep. Oh, it's neighing and whinnying. It's fucking bucking. It's in pain. It's writhing in agony.
Is there anything I can do to like ease that?
If you know how to apply medicine to a horse. If you don't, then that's a medicine. That's 1 an animal check, then 2 medicine with disadvantage.
All right. Well, here's to hoping.
Meanwhile, horse waddles on over to the other like dead horses and just starts eating at those.
Come on. I'm good.
Free horse.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. You fucking like just completely like heal up that horse. You bandage up. You calm it down to the point where it's bandaging up its legs. It gets back up again and looks at you, but it's still kind of torn because you kind of did kill its master.
I didn't do anything, although I did kind of trip it up.
All right. Well, at this
the one
point,
over there, if anything, I shot its master.
yeah. Well, the horse is just sitting there now, just like confused. It doesn't know what to do with itself.
I'm gonna just try and keep it calm. Like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Shh, it's okay. Shh, it's okay.
Animal handling one more time.
Come on. 19.
Yeah, you successfully just calmed down the horse. It's a brown Clydesdale.
Ooh. I am all for that.
Ted's gonna walk up behind Washel. With those talents you have for healing, you ever thought of being a cleric?
Nope.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so you guys are now left to. You now have saved your captives. There's the girl kind of like picks up her staff and looks to the rest of you. Well, I certainly am very grateful for all your help. She looks over down to the sheep still. I'm sorry we never had a chance to actually properly introduce ourselves. I thought you were just a lost sheep and I would take you back to your shepherd, but it appears you are far more than that.
Oh, I'm no sheep. I'm more of a magical talking horse.
Watch kind of calls from the distance. I don't know about that. We got that horse over there. He's magical and talking. Looks nothing like you.
Horse kind of just like moseys over to Buck and looks over and looks at the little goat boy who has yet to introduce himself yet.
To be honest with you folk, I have no idea where I am.
To be honest.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
To be honest, you probably don't need to know where we are, just where we're going.
Well, what city are you from then, son? As Buck says, taking a drag from his cigar. God damn it, his cigar.
Probably not from here at all.
What do you mean, not from here? I mean, it's rare to see a tiefling. You must be from Fortune, ain't you?
No.
Well, then the woman looks to you and goes, well, then why don't you start from the beginning? What do you remember?
I remember looking for books, and then this idiot told me to go out this way, and then I was in the desert. He's holding his sword up.
Your sword told you to do that?
Well, sometimes he likes to talk, and sometimes he doesn't.
Well,
Anyone want to roll an Arcana check on that?
Sure.
Ted will try it.
9.
19. Hey.
Watch
Don't talk.
Watchful kind of just like rubs his chin, but then realizes, oh, this kid has some sort of patron that he calls to. He's a warlock.
Oh, it's not the most unusual thing. Warlocks kind of do this all the time.
I mean, you saw me call down the lightning, didn't you?
I saw you take a step forward and then you were somewhere else.
Oh,
And then the
you didn't see
flash.
that?
And then a lot of ash.
Yeah, that was me. I did that.
What?
Neat.
Buck kind of just like looks down at the little goat person. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more in detail where you're from? Because depending on your story, son, you might be exactly why we're out here in the first place.
Oh, are you looking for another animal to add to your barnyard collection, huh?
Nah, son. We're just here to make sure that no fancy wizard folk just go in and summoning the devil into our lands.
I might look like a devil to you. I mean, I might look like a goat.
Literally, Buck just looks at you and goes, "Got the horns, son. And you got the little feet, too."
Excuse you, I did say I was part horse.
You know what? And just watch goes back to the car, to the wagon. Like, no, just no, not for this conversation today.
Well, the woman then turns to everyone. Well, if you're heading towards the north, would it not be too much if I actually did join you in your little caravan? I'm on my way to Beacon's Crawl.
Rune's just sitting there like, nah, I'll stay with this lady, because I have no idea where I am, like I told you. I just need to get somewhere so I can find my bearings.
Okay, well, let's see how deep it actually goes. Do you know what country we're in? Do you know what Blisturn is?
He's thinking really hard. He's not sure if he even knows what world he's on. What should he roll for that?
You want to... Well, that would be a knowledge history with disadvantage.
Okay. He's just gonna pull out one of his books from his pack.
Yeah, you just watch as like this little goat child just pulls out a giant like band of books and starts flipping through them.
He does actually have a lore book in his pack.
Yes, you do have.
He's trying to figure that out.
You do have a lore book. You look up into the sun, and then you like realize you look around you. You look at your book for like 2 seconds and go, "Oh wait, Sun World, right?"
This must be Salima.
Well, yeah, son, that's the planet.
I did say I'm not from here. Very, very not from here.
Now, son, are you telling me that you're from another realm? Says Buck, who's now very interested in this.
Watch also kind of has one of his ears turn in their direction, just focusing on the horse, listening a little more carefully now.
This seems like a dangerous topic.
It is a dangerous topic, son. Because, depending on where we're going, and based on your story so far, there's a lot of people who would find you interesting. The wrong kind of people.
And how do I know you're not the wrong kind of people?
We just saved you, nitwit.
That doesn't mean anything.
Rita, the woman kind of like pats her hand on your shoulder. Like trying to comfort you and saying like, no, I feel like this is the right sort.
He's willing to trust her a little more than them, so he shrugs. He's like, all right.
I take it you're from Vulture, then. You'll be right, ma'am. Knights in shining armor, yours truly. Well, why are you going?
In some cases, literally.
Well, why are you going to? Well, they already explained why they're going to Beacon's Hope. Oh God, Beacon's Crawl. Holy shit, Chris, wake up.
Hope.
Yeah, Beacher's Hope. Now, son.
Gotta go find that ranch.
Got a plan, John. Just have faith.
One more job.
One more score, Arthur. That's all we need.
It's always another train.
Well, I need to go there because I need some answers. And she looks over down to the tiefling again one more time. Being around those who would mean you no harm is a lot better than walking out into the wilderness by yourself and having the wrong person pick you up.
Rune just kind of stands up, stretches up, and is looking over at that cat. He's like, I'm taller than that thing.
I'm on a horse.
Well, you're kind of hunched over right now, so no one knows that. Again, why do you think everyone thought you looked like a fucking sheep? You were hunched over in a giant jacket. At the same time, even Rita just looks at you and goes, well, if you're from a different realm, is that coat not disastrously hot for you?
He's just kind of looking at himself. He's like, oh no, I like the heat. My mom likes heat too. He's got that, what you call the hellish resistance.
Oh boy, like Buck just holds his face. Oh boy, the conjuring's already happened.
Rune's just shaking his head. He's like, I told you I wasn't a devil. I might look like one.
Well, what's your name, not devil?
Rune Sword. I'm also a hexblade user.
Ah.
And Rita kind of just like looks to the rest of you and like picks up her little shillelagh and sits it up like a staff to lean on. Well, my name is Rita Farlene. I live to the Harvester Ranch just outside of Fritz Moon.
Well, a pleasure to meet you.
Rune's
Well-
just really not sure if he should say where he's from yet. He's still just looking over everybody real well.
Ted looks over to him. Well, if you like the heat, you came to the right planet for it.
Well, should probably get back on the road now that that's been taken care of. As
Oh,
Buck,
you're expecting me to go with you?
no, I don't expect anything from you, son. You're not part of this job unless you want to be. Unless you want me to hog tie you, we take you back over there and we tell the boss man about you, since you are part of this conjuring business.
He's like, He's just gonna walk over here. he's still very much checking everything out.
Quite a way with words, aren't you, Mr. Buck? I'll call me Kettle, ma'am. Buck Kettle. And this is Horse. Horse kind of just like waddles his way over to Rune and starts sniffing at him.
You ain't a horse.
He kind of like hisses at you like, yeah.
Watch kind of calls out, don't think about it too much.
So are you getting into the caravan with them, or you walk it off on your own?
He's hopping on.
Rita will join in as well. And with that, we will actually, now that I'm looking at it, now might be a good time to actually call it quits here.
Seems good.
All right.
Seems like a good ending point.
I like how they just left the one guy on the floor.
He's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
You know what?
He's
Since
fine.
I have the horse, I'm gonna go grab him. We kind of need him. For information.
Buck looks at you. We do? He's just a rude.
But he might know a couple of things about them, including where their next hijacking point will be. And
Roll diplomacy.
That's a diplomacy. Why don't I see it?
There's no diplomacy for 5e.
Oh, right, persuasion. Fuck. Sorry,
I think-
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder logic.
Persuasion, come on. Crap. 8.
Buck kind of like looks at you as you put him on the the coach. And then Buck just gets up, walks to the back of the wagon where this guy is has been propped up, puts his boot to the back of his back and kicks him off the carriage.
Now,
All right.
now, Buck, if we treat the prisoners well, then won't they tell the others that we actually take them, and that way they'll stop fighting so quickly and we don't have to kill all of them?
Ain't nothing nice about rude, son.
Also, he clocked me upside the head.
I thought you didn't want to kill all of them.
We don't have to help him, but we didn't kill him.
To be fair, most of them just ran.
You killed
So,
one.
the living one did mention what were the words? Green bitch? Wouldn't happen to know who that is.
When you say that, Rita turns and looks to you. He takes her shillelagh and clubs him upside the head.
All right, then we leave more trash on the road. But hey, I've got a horse.
Leave him to the scorpions. Let nature decide his fate. When she said that, her eyes turned full purple.
That purple.
I am not gonna argue.
I've been through so many hardships that letting nature take its course will do these cretins good.
All right. I guess Watch looks back over the fallen horse and kind of whispers, "I'm sorry, couldn't do anything for you, friend." And taking the now living horse, like follows alongside the.
Oh, you actually take the horse, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna take that horse.
All right, cool. You now have Hort.
Yeah.
Acquired horse.
I mean, how are we all gonna fit in that little carriage, anyways?
Hey, you got something out of this fight.
I mean, you still can loot the guy who's on the floor.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So,
Investigation, right?
Yep, that'd be an investigation from all of you.
21.
19. Oh yeah.
Yep, 2 of you found something.
Gosh, double 21s.
All right. You find at least 20 fortune coins. Fortune tokens, so like playing chips, but made of gold. You do actually get a shoulder pad, like a pauldron, that like a metal pauldron bandolier, so that can also act as armor. It acts as a shield. So technically you pretty much have found a shield off this guy. He has about 12 rounds of bullets on him and a still working revolver.
Well, if everyone's okay, I'll just be snagging those.
Well,
Okay.
You can keep that.
And you also
Doesn't need that.
And you also find a bottle. You find a bottle of beer on his person, and you also find a very macabre sort of thing here. You find a shriveled hand of a human in his pocket.
Oh.
Oh, you can definitely keep that.
Is there anything on the hand?
A wedding ring.
I will take that.
All right, you have a wedding ring that the ring itself is silver, and it has a little emerald in the middle of it.
All right.
All right, and with that, you guys have now banded together with Oh, by the way, I did mention that she says her name? Yes, yeah, she did. She said she's Rita Farlene. So
Yes,
Rita and Rune have now joined your caravan. As at this point, I will say you guys pretty much spend the next couple of hours at least getting acquainted with each other if you wanted to talk to each other. If you want to have a little bit of fluff to say for that, that'd be fine, because at this point I'm just going to say you guys are now around 6 o'clock at night. The sun is beginning to set. It's starting to get a little cold, and you are now just outside of Beacon's Crawl. Unless you want to fluff stuff, I think we're pretty much done for the night.
How many rounds of ammo did you say was there?
12 bullets.
Okay.
Can I get 6 of those?
Sure.
Sweet.
yeah, I don't have any fluff. I think I could.
All right, then that's it. We can stop recording here.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
All right.
Stopping the recording.
Well,
Stop.
so lady and gentlemen, how do we feel?
Very fun.
This was a lot of fun.
I'm liking it so far.
And I'm sorry, Natch, that it took a while to get to you. It's just that you were the outsider, so...
That's fine.
I mean, hey, you fucking nuked a guy. I think your prowess shows very well in combat. Now, they're going to stop a conjuring, and you are part of that conjuring, so you're a pretty important piece in this cog here.
That's news to Rune.
He's like, I'm just happy to be alive. No idea how I got here.
And hey, going into the next session for next weekend will be a lot easier since I don't have to worry about exposition and prep.
Yeah.
You can just go to the next part.
Oh
Jump right
boy.
into people getting burned alive and zapped to death.
Oh,
Turned to ash.
excuse me.
Salute.
Bless you.
Ted is a fan of burning people alive.
We noticed.
We also learned that Ted, instead of tipping cows, tips horses.
We all
Yes.
now also know that Ted is a fucking, like, massive pyromaniac.
Oh,
I mean,
We don't want to kill these kids. Fucking summons a fireball out of the earth.
So
I mean,
can we
if
all agree that Ted is not allowed to cook?
I mean, he's great at frying things. But I mean, hey, if they couldn't survive a fireball, then, maybe they shouldn't be alive.
I mean, if I wanted charcoal...
Man, what's sound logic? Now Zito preps for Tuesday. That's not hard. That's not hard, chat. By the way, you guys can look at the chat now, too, if you want.
Okay, I will.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for stopping by for the first ever Tales of Rydin. It'll be a journey going forward, mark my words. I have a few other bits to call out, but first, before we do so, I would also like my players to once again, from the start, Devious, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at devious_shadow.
Underscore, yes?
Yeah.
Because you said understore.
Understore, yes.
Oh.
Devious, what are you doing under the store?
I mean, he can technically sell us some shiny
I'm trying to get
thing.
behind the counter.
He's helping.
Alright, Natch, where can they find you?
At twitch.tv/natchcat.
Excellent. Do you have anything in store for the people?
I might be playing a dinosaur game tomorrow.
Sounds good. I might be interested in joining this dinosaur game.
Prehistoric raw.
NG, where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/NG_GS. I will also potentially be playing that dinosaur game tomorrow.
Boy, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
Also, Mr. Nobody, where can they find you?
Heyo, you can find me on Twitter at Mr_Nobody. NOHBDY. No O in there.
You can find me here.
You're just here.
I'm just here. I mean, me, your boy, Chris Zito, here, doing
Y'all
the
gotta remember-
D&D and doing the
remember
video
how you
games.
Shit, sorry.
No, it's all
I was
good.
going to say, you remember how you mentioned that big old comfy chair that we all sank into? That's his chair. That's where he stays. He never leaves it.
That's gonna be his request when they finish this mission. Give me that chair.
So,
Until he realizes the chair was just a sentient slime disguised as a chair.
if you guys would like to continue talking about the game itself, we do have a Discord. If you type !Discord, there's a couple of channels for Rydin itself that you can discuss about. I'm very happy you all enjoyed. I'm very happy you all decided to stick around. Thank you all so much for your support. I have a couple more bits and subs to call out right now, but for the most part, if my players want to bail, they could do so while I finish cleaning up house.